Hey guys, it's Katie from scrappingkatie.ctmh.com, and I am going to share with you a treat holder as part of the creative design team projects for this month. As you can see here, I decided to make a little cute elephant that holds some candy inside. I have already pre-cut my images, and I'm using a few cartridges from Close to My Heart. The box comes from the Artiste cartridge, the bow from the Flower Market, and then Art Philosophy and some basic designs make up the elephant's trunk and eyes. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold along these score lines. I have a Cricut Maker, and I have set my paperweight to 80, and then I am using the score stylus, not the blade. And I like to use liquid Tombow adhesive for these. You could also use any sort of strong, maybe score tape, anything that's really going to keep those edges together. And then you'll just apply your adhesive. I do it on all of the little flaps and then start putting it together, and then use my bone folder to make sure that those are really adhered down. Sometimes you kind of, especially on the bottom of the boxes, you kind of have to maneuver in ways you're not used to, and then go ahead and press down with your fingers as well. So I've got the box assembled, and then now I'm going to start putting together really the focal part of the box, which is going to be the elephant's trunk, ear, and then the bow that's going to make up, the trunk, eyes, and then the bow that's going to make up his ears. So I just made sure that trunk fit on there, and then I did not score that with my maker, so I am just going to use my stylus to make that score line. All the colors in the papers come from the Oh My Heart collection that is exclusive to Close to My Heart for this month of February 2020, and then it'll be gone. I'll link that down in the description. But you can see the bright colors, pinks, it's even got some reds in there, and then that lovely mint color that I used for the eyeballs. So I just cut a circle out of the raspberry background and texture paper and then cut it in half, and that's going to be the elephant's cheeks. And then I am going to attempt to try to figure out where I'm going to attach those eyes. And I've decided, you know what, I'm going to do a sure thing right quick and go ahead and put this bow together. This bow, I contemplated doing hearts. I did find this idea. I've had it pinned for a while, and I'll link my Pinterest board down below as well. And I've had it pinned for a while, and she used hearts, and it was so cute. But then in the end, I decided to do a bow. I love my white gel pen against darker colors of cardstocks. And this one is the charcoal cardstock from Close to My Heart. And so I just made the lines of the trunk and then went ahead and added some doodling dots. And I'll do that again later on here in just a second. So now I'm going to try to find out where I can adhere these eyes. I did not make a prototype ahead of time, so you're going to kind of have to bear with me on how I decide what's going to be best. Also, the functionality of this box is very important. So I need to make sure that wherever the eyes are adhered, the box can still open so you can get the treats out. So I've decided to adhere them on one of those handles, and now I'm just trying to see how close together they have to be for me to slide that top flap off of the box. So I've got that down, so I'm just going to start applying liquid adhesive on that first flap. You want to make sure that you're not adhering the flaps together. And so I did want them to line up, but then I separated them to make sure that glue was not getting on that second flap. And as you can see here, the eyes are overlapped a little bit, but not too much. And those flaps still come over the eyeballs, and so does the trunk. So now I'm going to start kind of putting together everything else. So on the bow, I'm going to adhere it, and you want to make sure you're only adhering it to the top flap, not the second. And again, for functionality, you not only want this box cute, but you want them to be able to open it without tearing into your beautiful creation. So I've got that adhered down, and then I've got all these little hearts that I have left over from other projects. And so I have no idea design-wise what this heart serves on an elephant's trunk, but I thought it was adorable. So I've done that, and then I think the bow just needs something else. So I've pulled out my stitched circles, and then I kind of like the idea of a heart. So I'm going to pull out my stitched heart thin cuts as well, and I'm going to cut a couple of those and try to decide which I like best. And so I'm using the smallest of both of these sets of thin cuts, and I'm using cranberry cardstock. I've cut those off camera, and now I'm going to try to see which one I like. Because of the fold in the bow, I'm just going to apply 3D foam adhesive, and these are the little bitty foam circles that Close to My Heart sells. And I like to cut them in half for small projects. I like the look of the heart. It was just too small, so now I've cut a bigger heart, and I'm just going to play around with it, and I still go back to the circle. It's so cute, and I just love it. So now I'm going to take, well, I was going to open that up, and then I realized I did not adhere the trunk down. So again, I'm just going to apply liquid adhesive and adhere that down, and then take the clear shimmer brush and add some glitter to all those parts of the elephant. And then I'm going to open it up and then start to make the treats that go inside. So I just have a food safe bag as well as just some Brock candy hearts, and I'm just going to pour some in this bag and then cut off the top. The bag is really big, so I'm going to just cut off the top to make it a little shorter, pull out some old ribbon of mine, tie a pretty bow, and then I decided to make some paper shreds. And I know you can buy paper shreds pretty cheap, but you can also make them. So pull out any background and texture paper, pull out your scoring tool or anything that you use to score every 1/4 of an inch. And then you're going to trim lengthwise 1/4 of an inch. And then once you trim all these 1/4 of an inch pieces, because they're already scored accordion style, it's going to be so much easier to fold them up and scrunch them together and put in that cute little box. And then so everything fits nicely and it closes up and it's very functional. And that is it, girls. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel as well as visit the other creative design team members. I will add links in the details below. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And as always, thank you so much for watching.